Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me today. I am excited to be in Building Your Destiny, and I thank Nicole for inviting me. Um, my name is Sammy Bell, as you might have seen on the invitation. I am the author of Share Parenting, and I am a parenting mentor, particularly for parents who are attempting to parent differently because of some of the trauma or wounds that they are healing from their own childhood. Um, that's a daunting process. A lot of us are working incredibly hard and are facing challenges that we never saw dealt with well. And so we are not sure what to do about that. And as all parents, to some extent, we're winging it. Fortunately, we are the first generation of parents who are raising children after the age of the brain. So in the mid 90s, a whole bunch of studying was done on children's brains that wasn't available before. So we know a lot more now, which is awesome. And that's largely what my work involves. A lot of my clients are actually entrepreneurial moms, and a couple dads, actually, as well. And those parents have even more unique challenges or opportunities that come to them as they are both building their business and creating their children's childhood. So, today I wanted to talk about some of the good and the bad that come with that because we all have our own concerns about whether we're making the right choices or whether we are doing the right thing by our kids. And some of the things that I want to kind of address right off the gate, you may already know, and that's totally fine. But main points to be had is that there is no one right perfect way to parent. There's no such thing as a perfect parent. That is a mathematical concept and not a human one. So we don't deal in perfection. That's not the goal. The goal is to learn and be open and build a really solid relationship with our kids because that makes life easier. That makes them feel heard and seen. And that leads to better behaviors. All behavior is communication. That's another kind of foundational belief. And when something is awry, it's time to investigate. It's time to get curious. We can get angry, and for a lot of us, that's what was modeled, but it's not going to solve the problem. So it tends to benefit all involved to get curious before we get angry. Not always easy. That's okay. I have a class for that. But it is the goal nonetheless. Um, it, as important as getting it right is, it's possibly even more important to know how to repair. Rupture and repair is what builds security in children. So, again, not about perfection. If you were perfect, that would put a tremendous amount of pressure on your children, and that wouldn't be a great thing. They would never be able to live up to that perfection. So, instead, you get to be human. And when you mess up, you own it and you make it right. And you show them what that looks like. And as entrepreneurs, that will happen. That's part of the equation. There's a lot of debate on whether moms in particular should be stay-at-home moms or working moms or combine the two. And the truth is, there's no one right answer that fits everybody. The answer is what works best for you. I chose to quit teaching. I taught elementary school and I chose to stop because I wanted to stay home with my son. He had a lot of high needs when he was an infant, and that time was really important to me. And I also realized that staying home with him, while that was very important to me, it couldn't be all I did. It was very important to me also to do something for me as an adult, as an intelligent, functioning member of society. What was mine? And that became Share Parenting. And for moms who are entrepreneurs, they kind of get slammed from both sides sometimes because there's the judgment about having a real job And then there's the judgment of not just staying home and focusing on your kids. And the truth is it's not easy. You're trying to be two people if you're working at home and doing the stay-at-home mom thing for your kids while also running a business. It's not easy, and that's okay. That's okay. So, what we're going to talk about today is some of the good and the bad that comes from that. And I like to think of each of these things as sort of a coin. There's a good side and a bad side. And if you find yourself falling onto one of the bad sides, flip it over, right? Take it, learn from it, flip it over, and make something good out of it. That's the point of today. There is no shaming here. Shame does not teach us anything. It does not help us, makes us dislike ourselves, which then keeps us stuck. So there might be learning, but there's never shame, not from me. So let's start with the first one. On the good side of the coin, we have connection. Being able to work at home allows us to connect with our kids more often, time-wise, than if our kids were gone all day. That's kind of cool. Now, your kids might be at school, and that's when you work, and then you get to feel fulfilled and excited and inspired, and then when they're home, you really get to connect with them too. So that's the good side. The bad side that can happen when we are running our own business is that we inadvertently give them the message that they don't matter as much as our business, because we are so focused on building that business that we push them off and we push them off and we push them off. And that can go too far. And sometimes it does. And so if you are noticing behaviors you don't like, flip that coin over. Focus on connection. Connection heals lots and lots and lots and lots of wounds, if not all of them to some degree. The next one is prioritizing. So there's a good side and a bad side of that, right? You are prioritizing your life. Every day, every decision you make, you are making choices about your priorities. And I'm not here to tell you that you should prioritize your children every second of every day, because it's not true. That's a little bit inflammatory, right? But I'm prioritizing you right now. I'm not prioritizing my kids. I hear them coming up the stairs. They might butt in and I'll have to talk to them for just a second. And in that moment, I'll prioritize them. But in general, the boys are downstairs. They're eating snacks. I'm prioritizing this. This is my choice. I have a sick toddler. She's in bed, hopefully going to sleep. She's quiet, so that's a good sign. But at this moment, I'm prioritizing my work. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We make the choice of our priorities so that we have the windows to prioritize something else later. Where it becomes a bad thing is where we're constantly prioritizing our business over our family, and we're damaging those relationships. And again, that shows up in behavior. When they're struggling with their behavior, maybe it's time to look at priorities. How can you prioritize your kids with a lot of intention? What does that even look like? It doesn't look like quitting your job and spending every waking second with them. It looks like carving out an hour that's just for that kid, that yes time. I am yours. I don't have a phone. I don't have Facebook. I'm focused on you right now. That's showing them that they are a priority. If we are always pushing them off and always telling them, just wait, I'm working, leave me alone, why are you irritating me, you're interrupting me, it starts to wear on them. And those priorities become clear in the negative sense. So it's a good thing to be aware of. And it's, again, reiterating, it's important to sometimes prioritize your business. That's great. Also, it's important to sometimes prioritize your family. That's great too. And we have a lot of concern when we are entrepreneurs that our clients will be mad at us. What if somebody messages us and we don't answer them right back? What if, you know what? Maybe they'll see that you're prioritizing your family. And maybe that in and of itself will make them want to work with you even more. I know it does for me. When I have someone say, hey, this came up with my kids, can we move our appointment from Wednesday to Thursday? That shows me that our priorities align. That's the kind of person I want to work with. Communication is important if you need to change a priority. But the priority of putting your kids first does not have to hinder your business. And if there is somebody, and I've seen it, that is judging you negatively because you're prioritizing your kids sometimes, maybe they're not the right person for you to work with. Just an opinion. So the next thing is the growth mindset versus fixed mindset. How do you accept your failure and mistakes? Do you try to avoid responsibility? Do you try to pretend that you're always in the right? Do you try, or on the other side, do you get really angry when mistakes happen? Like overwhelmingly frustrated with yourself and down on yourself? What are you showing your kids? Or do you go, oh, yikes, I made a mess out of that. How am I going to fix it? Because that's the growth mindset. We all make mistakes. Mark Manson, in his The Subtle Art of Not Giving a You Know What, has a funny point that we're all always wrong about something. The fact that we can learn something new tomorrow means we're wrong about something today. It kind of takes the pressure off, doesn't it? We're allowed to be wrong. We're allowed to make mistakes. We are allowed to have opinions that other people don't agree with. Now, if you were raised in a home where conflict was exceedingly dangerous, that might feel terrifying to you. What message do you want to teach your kids? That they need to comply and make people like them? Or they need to be true to themselves? And that sometimes that looks messy and there's some problems to solve, and that's okay because they can do it. With this, there's the difference between fixing it for them versus sitting back and believing in them. And that's hard because we really want to do something. We want to help them and save them, especially if we felt unsupported as a kid. We want to make sure they never suffer. It's not possible, for one. For two, it's not helpful. Our kids are going to face challenges and struggles, and sometimes they need us, right? They're not adults yet. That's the whole point of childhood. But also, if we can, it's a really great practice to sit back and wait and just mentally project your energy of you've got this, I believe in you. Focus on that energy. Say it in your head and just push that energy towards them. Give yourself a pause before you jump in to rescue them. See what they do with it. It's kind of incredible. Give yourself some grace too. Maybe you can't solve that problem right this second. Give yourself a pause. See what comes of it. You're modeling from both sides there. The next one is love of learning versus comparisonitis. So when you see somebody who's further ahead of you, do you look at them and see, is there something I could learn here? Is there a strategy I can take away from this? Or do you look at them and go, oh, I suck? Because they see it. They can feel that energy. They can feel when you are down on yourself, and your behavior shifts when you feel like that. So it's a good thing to notice. Do you notice your kids comparing themselves to other kids? Part of that's normal, but is there anything that you're modeling at home where you're comparing yourself to other people? Sometimes it's not even about business, but for entrepreneurs it tends to be. Maybe it's about looks, maybe it's about intelligence. It's not necessary and it's not helpful. The only thing that you can really do in comparison is either help your own perspective or learn something. Those are the positives. If it's doing anything else, it's a negative, and cut it out. And show your kids how to do that too. The next one is following your dreams. Great, good thing, right? Versus killing yourself for your dreams. Are you sacrificing everything? Your sleep, your mental health, your friendships, because you were told that you have to work 90 hours a week to make your dream happen? If you do have to work 90 hours this week, is it a 1 week thing? Is this an all the time thing? What are you showing them? Sometimes we think we're showing them, go for your dreams. And what we're really showing them is that they have to lose everything that matters to them, their health and their well-being, to achieve their dreams, and maybe it's not worth it. Maybe instead we can show them you can achieve your dreams and take care of you along the way, because if you don't make it to the end of that rainbow, there wasn't much point. You matter too. Good boundaries versus poor boundaries. This is obviously relevant in childhood, but it's relevant with your clients. It's relevant with your family members. What is it that I need? How am I going to meet that need? What is it that you need? How are you going to meet that need? Those conversations, that mentality is very important. It can't be, how do I fix you? How do I make everybody happy with me all the time? I struggle with that. I've been a people pleaser. Probably still am to an extent. It's very challenging. But it's also really worth working on. because you're a happier, healthier person when you have good boundaries. Um, are you showing confidence or are you showing shame? Are you accepting the whole package, the challenges that are part of the journey, your own personal ups and downs in business? Or are you constantly shaming yourself thinking that that will make you better? So many of us were raised with shame where our parents truly believed that if they could shame us enough, then we would do better. It would make us do better. And that's not what shame does. Guilt is a great messenger. If you feel guilty about something and you actually did something wrong, great message. Fix it, make it better. Then let the guilt go because it served its purpose. But shame is simply telling yourself that you are bad in some way. And if you are bad, there's nowhere to go from there. There's nothing to improve. You just are that. That's why shame is not helpful. So what are you showing your kids? Both in how you treat yourself and how you treat them, obviously. I think how you treat them is more obvious to more people, but they're also picking up on how you're talking to yourself. Problem solving versus overwhelm. You know, we all get overwhelmed sometimes. We all break down sometimes. We all have those moments. If that happens, you let your kid know, I am having a moment. We all have moments. I'll be okay. Not your responsibility right now. I just need to be ticked off. That's okay. But if you sit there and you unpack and you stay there for weeks at a time, maybe you need a mentor. Maybe you need somebody to help you through that problem-solving process so you develop the belief in yourself that you can solve problems that come up. You don't have to unpack and live there in that place of frustration. It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to feel anything. Also, how do we move forward? Right? Getting to that place quickly. Nicole is an expert at the over, under, around, and through thinking instead of just the obstacle thinking. Self-care or not? Are you taking care of you? Work ethic or a lack of balance? So I had a mentor once who said balance is BS. And that's kind of true as far as like perfect balance, but every day you make choices. Today, it's kid heavy. I've got my 20 minutes with you guys and then I'm out for the rest of the day. I've got a kid with a broken arm. I've got another kid with a stomach flu. I'm waiting for the third one to decide how he's going to fall apart, to be honest. But that's okay. This is today. Other days, on Saturdays when I have my group coaching with my clients, I'm more client heavy that day. And that's okay. That's what balance looks like for me. It's deciding with intention every day. It's not that it's a perfect 50-50 split. It's meeting the needs of whomever is involved and making sure that I feel good about it, that my decisions align with my morals and values. Stress management versus lashing out. It's very easy to lash out at our kids. They're there, they're stuck there, we get irritated. So are you making good choices about how you handle your stress? Are you black journaling? Are you venting to a friend instead of just dumping it on your kids? Are you showing them healthy ways to handle high stress situations? It's an important difference. Self-awareness of your own needs versus ignoring your needs until you blow up. Kind of the same thing, right? Empathy and compassion versus self-centeredness. You know, are you thinking about their needs? They are real people. They're an entire human. They have their own needs and their own wants and their own desires and their own goals and their own dreams. And that's an important part of the equation. It's not all of it, but it's an important part of it. So just as much as we need to be aware of our needs, we also need to be aware of theirs. And you can go too far in either direction. So it's good to, in that way, have balance. Understanding versus unrealistic expectations. I would wager to say 75% of the conflict that I resolve with families is fixing unrealistic expectations. If you are expecting your 3-year-old or 5-year-old or 6-year-old and sometimes 8-year-old to just go get ready on their own, they might not be able to. It is because their brain is not fully developed. We have this part. That is the prefrontal cortex. It is not done until 25 to 26 years old. So at 8, the fact that they might still need some help, that's normal. That's healthy. If you are stuck shoulding yourself, they shouldn't need help, they should do it on their own, you are wasting more time stuck in that frustration than you would spend to just support them, meet them where they're at, help them solve whatever that problem is, and move on. You're doing it hoping it'll give you more time. often more time to work. But then there's this big conflict and these behavioral issues as they're trying to say, like, please see me, help me, I need help. And our stubbornness insists that no, you don't. Yet the problem is still there. So let's try it. Let's try being understanding. Let's try matching our expectation to their level of development and then see what happens. Chances are you'll end up with more time to work because you'll have more peace and you'll have more cooperation. And really what it all comes down to is trust versus fear. Are you coming at your business with from a place of trust? I trust that my clients are good people, or I wouldn't be working with them. So if I have to reschedule something because my kid has thrown up 6 times in the past hour, they're going to be okay with that. I trust that my kid is going to be okay with me locking that door and spending 20 minutes talking to you. I trust that I'm going to make mistakes, but I'm going to repair them. And having a parent who sees you and repairs their mistakes with you and shows you how much you matter because of that action is going to make a difference in my children's lives. That's why I do it. Do I still have fears that come up? Oh, yes. Yes, I do. But I know if I'm trying to parent from fear or if I'm trying to operate my business from fear, I am on the wrong path. Anytime the words always, never, the extremes, along with should, anytime those pop into my vocabulary, it's a really good warning sign that I'm heading down the fear path and I need to get off. I need to go back to trust. So that's what it boils down to. If you need help in finding that trust in yourself and in your kids and in your family, I would love to talk with you. You can set up a free call with me, bit.ly/callsami, call, C-A-L-L-S-A-M-I. My free group is empowering parents to uplift kids, and I really just love helping families. That has been my dream. That has been my joy, and I would love to meet you. I'd love to talk to you and see what it is that I might be able to provide to you so that you can feel sure in your own family. And of course in your business, because that matters too. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Nicole, and I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your Thursday and weekend. I will see you guys next time. Bye.